Pat here from Dead Things. So I've been getting a lot of responses back for my part 4 of pneumatics, putting it all together. And while I have left some comments on the YouTube page, or responded to some of the comments on the YouTube page, I wanted to do a video just to clarify some of those issues. And I'm not doing this in my garage because it is currently minus 46 degrees out there. Yeah, I told you we were going to pay for this, and we are. So I am in my basement. So I just want to read some of the questions here. I'm probably going to just, not answer it all, but the Boneyard Creep, Mark, I believe, and if it isn't, I apologize, says, okay, how did you trigger the 4-way 5-port, and does the controller just keep running on a loop? It can, but that's not what I do. Can you now please show and tell what program you use and how that is set up? I would suppose that instructions come with whatever controller you buy if you were to purchase it new. Yes, they do. It makes it so much easier to see it in action. Thanks for the instruction. Please try to keep the cold up there. It has found a way down here this morning. No, I am not going to keep it up here. Cold like this is just too good not to share. So what I'm going to show you first is what I'm using. So this is a Peekaboo F104 by Fried Ideas. Great little Fried Ideas makes some great little units. I know some people have had some problems with them. I've never had any problems with this. So this is the F104, and it is a low voltage unit, so it's 12 volts. You can get them where they're 110 volts, and I believe that's the F105. So basically you have power. These are your outputs, and there's normally open, normally closed. So depending on what you want to do with there, you can do some interesting things with that. Maybe lights on when the prop is not triggered, and then when the prop is triggered, those lights turn off and another set of lights turn on. So I've never played around with normally closed and normally open, but I understand the idea. This is the trigger here, and I've just got this looped, or anyways, I got a jumper cable through here. And I'll explain that in a moment. Line in, which is where you record your audio in, and then line out where you attach a set of computer speakers to, powered computer speakers to. That's what I use. So then this is record, and this is 1 and 2, so which corresponds to 1 and 2 up here. And so basically when you saw that those solenoids or those cylinders extending, that was basically one push of one of these, one on one side, one on the other side, right? So cylinder 1 over here, cylinder 2 over here, and basically that's a push. And of course at the end, when it's going crazy, I was just basically doing this as much. Then when it's done recording, I can't remember, it's been a while since I've recorded into this, but you just basically hit record and it's saved in there. So then how did I trigger it? Well, last night I triggered it using this. And you can use this if you do not love life and you want to die a most horrible and painful death. This is a pill bottle trigger. And so what this is a momentary switch capable of handling 120 volts AC. And I just want to say this: I am not a licensed electrician. However, I know enough about electricity to be dangerous. So if you do not know anything about electricity, do not attempt to build something like this. Get someone who knows what they're doing to build it, because at the very least you're going to give yourself a very good shock. You can give yourself a very good shock from this stuff, and at the very most you could do extreme damage to people and property, up to and including death. So don't screw with it if you don't know what you're doing. So basically what you do is you take an extension cord, and this is 2-strand lamp cord. You take one of the leads. Typically I'm using the black lead off of this, which is your hot. You can also use the white, which is your neutral. But basically what this is doing is this is breaking continuity, and when you press that, it establishes continuity, meaning that the circuit is now closed. So basically you bring your power cord into here, you take one of those lines. In this case I took the black line, I connected it up to one side of this strand, brought it around to here, connected up to one side of here, took the other strand, connected it here, and back down here. That is connected into the outlet. And so of course when I push this, it establishes continuity. Like I said, if you don't know what you're doing with electricity, don't screw with that. I've been in the music industry for a long time, and I've seen some guys do some really crazy things on breaker panels that I wouldn't even do. But you know, I know enough, like I said, to be dangerous. So if you don't know it, don't screw with it. End of story. End of story. You know, I can't be responsible for anybody doing something that they know they shouldn't be doing. So this is how I trigger mine now. So what this is this is a system that's based on X10. This I got at surplus, so I don't know if it's available anymore, but I got this at a surplus outlet. And if you don't know what X10 is, X10 uses household circuit to send signals. So basically this gets plugged in to a household circuit. You press one of these buttons, you address it, a unit address, right? And you got a lot of choices there, but you address this, and then basically when you plug this, if this unit, which is an appliance module, is plugged down, you know, down the line somewhere, as soon as you press this, this sends a signal down that household wiring to this and tells it to turn on or turn off. There are two things. There's lamp modules and there's appliance modules. Lamp modules are low current, so not very many amps, because the light bulb doesn't have many amps. This is for higher current units, so that's why I use it to trigger this. The reason I use this as opposed to using a PIR, pneumatics are powerful. Even at low PSI they can hurt people, and if they fail, I want to have complete control over it. I don't want something flopping around on the ground and I have to run over and pull a plug or do something like that, because all of my plugs are wrapped to keep them protected from the weather. So that's why I use this. I also have another system that I use for doing my startle props, like my leaper, my coffin leaper, my vampire that leaps up, and that is based on a momentary switch, and is in part of my main controller. And actually I think you can see that it's on one of my vlogs here, ways back. I can set that to latched. However, once I press that, I can't press anything else, so it has to run its course before I can trigger something. So if I were to press this, which takes about, I think about 15 seconds to run its whole cycle, I wouldn't be able to trigger anything else in that time. So that's why I use this. So essentially I'm holding on to two remotes during the night. I just want control over this stuff. Like I said, it's powerful, and I don't want people to get hurt. So there's that. Let's see some of the other comments. Rich Ghoulish Cop said, "A true haunter, taking one for the team and suffering for the craft. Thanks for showing them in action." I do suffer for the craft for you people. I give and I give. And I give. Joy's Girl Sharon said, "Pat, you are crazy. We can wait until it gets warmer." Yeah, well, that may not be till June. Thanks so much for once again putting on excellent videos. Makes the fourth video a favorite of yours. Well, thank you. This will definitely come in handy when we start working on pneumatics. Yeah, pneumatics are cool. You definitely want to get into them. They are the as far as what we do, you know, other than an actor jumping out at somebody and going boo, these are the coolest boo things that you can make, and they always get a response from people. And then MLPJMC said, very cool, but it's a noisy little bugger. Are there quieter pneumatics? Yeah. Just to explain that, basically, I was running it at a little higher PSI than it needed to be run at. So what you're hearing a lot of there is the banging of the cylinder as it's fully extended and fully retracting. If I turned down the PSI, it wouldn't have been like that. In fact, you can turn down the PSI so they very slowly, wherever the hell my hand is, there we go, very slowly extend. So the other thing is that there was no load on them either, you know, no they weren't hooked up to any mechanism, as it were, so that's, again, no weight on them, so they were extending very quickly. So that's the banging that you're hearing in the cylinder. One of the other things that you can hear from them is the exhaust from the solenoid. Psh, as it's exhausting. You can buy silencers that you put onto the exhaust port, and if you're going to use something like a flow control to, again, slow its return and those types of things, you can also put that silencer kind of at the end. Flow control, exhaust port, flow control, then silencer, and that'll help to keep the noise down with those as well. I have to remember this is also running sound at the same time, so it's not as noticeable. But yeah, you do get the clicking and the clacking from the cylinders. So I hope that helps a little bit with people and what they're asking. If you have any questions, by all means, give me a shout. Yeah, I think that's it. Steve Yardhunter 5, to say it looks like you have a different kind of setup for your ground breaker than most. Is that your cylinders mounted on the board, or was that just to show the action? No, that was just to show the action, just so you can see how they were extending and such. I think at the end of this I will post video of my my pneumatic ground breakers, so enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.